Hello and welcome to Boss's Money. I'm so excited that you've made it to this channel today. I have an exciting topic to share with you. Welcome, Mpande.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Very happy to be here on Boss's Money.
Oh yeah. On Boss's Money, we talk about taking charge of the things that God has blessed us with and excelling in what we do. So today we have an immigrant success story, and her name is Mpande. She's here to share with us her story. What is your country of birth, if you don't mind sharing with us?
My name is Mpande Mwape, and I am originally from Zambia, born in Lusaka, which is the capital city. So that's my country of origin. Yeah.
Zambia, where is Zambia located?
South Central Africa, small landlocked country. It's above Zimbabwe, so we share borders with Zimbabwe. A lot of people know Zimbabwe because of the Victoria Falls and everything. But we're surrounded by a lot of well-known countries, Congo, the Tanzania, Malawi, Namibia. So unfortunately, we're not coastal, but it's still a nice place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the Victoria Falls was also bordering Zambia as well.
Yeah, the best side is the Zambian side, actually.
Good. Thank you for that correction, because I was wondering, I'm like, what did she just
Livingston, say? I know.
Zambia is a beautiful country. If you've never been there, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to visit. How long have you lived in this country?
So I've been here since I got here when I was 9. Spent a year away in, I think, around 2004, but for the most part I've been here since I was 9 years old. So I've been here for over 20 years.
How has been your adjustment, like from that kind of weather, food, and then coming into this country? How has it been like?
I think it was a gradual process. I still remember when we first came, we landed at JFK. That was our port of entry, as they call it. And it was in December, so it was like the middle of winter for somebody who didn't even see winter on TV. I don't think I ever knew what snow meant or anything. And arriving in a big city, it was exciting, I think, for 9-year-old me. And I think, you know, in terms of adjustment, it was easy because I was young. So it's just kind of like we went with the flow and acclimated to everything. And I essentially grew up here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so what I discovered is sometimes it's even more different going home because I got so used to being here. But it's been good. Just miss my family, that's all.
So this is more like your home now? Okay.
It's strange to say, but yeah.
So has it been an easy journey just coming in a foreign country, I would call it, knowing that you were born from a different country and you're coming to adjust in a whole complete different country with a different culture, with everything different? How has it been? How has your journey been like? Has it been that easy transitioning?
No, it wasn't easy. You know, I give a lot of credit to my mom and our community for protecting us from the challenges when we were younger. I think it was probably after high school that I really felt the challenges of being an immigrant from another country. And so when I was a child, you know, I had my life. You know, my mom provided as best she could. I have my siblings, you know, my brothers, my sister, and we just kind of went through life as children. And then I think that the difficulties were, you know, after graduating high school, working on getting our status adjusted to permanent resident, and all the hiccups that came with that, and the difficulties of that whole process made adulthood a little bit harder, a little bit harder for me. But thank God, you know, God is faithful and got us through the hard times to where we are today, and can say that we made it to the other side. But it wasn't easy by any means, no.
I can only imagine, you know, like the adjustment of status itself. How long did it take? And how patient were you on waiting on this?
Yeah, so we started when I was graduating high school. That was in 2006. And the exciting part of graduating high school is the prospect of college.
Right.
So here I was, I worked my butt off in school, and everybody was talking about where they're going to college, you know, and we had just started the process, and I didn't really understand what it meant at the time. This is why that's when it became really challenging, is things became a little bit more real. So when I graduated, we hadn't completed the process yet, so I really couldn't go to the colleges that I wanted to go to. I was able to start working, but my process was slow, whereas I like to do things quickly.
Yes.
And get things done. So that really slowed me down. You know, I actually graduated high school when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I graduated high school when I was 16, and I had my timeline. I had so many things I wanted to do, and I knew I'd get them done. You know, I'd be done by the time I'm 22, 24, and be a professional. But as luck would have it, life happened, and I had to wait, and I waited until I was, I think, 23, 24 is when I was finally able to kind of jumpstart my career. I went to nursing school, couldn't work, couldn't take my boards, and I wasn't able to do that until 2014 actually.
Wow.
So it was basically a waiting game from 2006 until 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a long time, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes waiting can be really a job, you know. What advice can you tell someone who is like thinking, I can just move to another country and just make it like that? Because I think a lot of people think that way.
I don't think I would do it again. If I have to be honest. It's really hard. You have to have a plan. There's a lot of opportunities out there. Like if you're in an industry that is hiring internationally, I think that would be a wise decision.
Right.
Because otherwise, I think, you know, we get caught in the process. It can be very depressing. And, you know, to have to go through that for that length of time, it's only God that was able to keep us going and help us get through everything. But it is really hard. So I would say that, you know, you need to really choose your path correctly and have a good plan, especially for your career. Because, you know, you do have to consider the fact that citizenship means something here.
Right.
And, you know, in order to go through those legal channels, sometimes it takes a while. And it can be a very hard process. So
wow.
Consider it, you know, don't take it lightly. You have to really sit and think about those things.
What really helped you to keep your focus on the goal? Because like you've said, you had a plan, though it didn't work out and it delayed. So what really helped you to keep your focus on the goal?
Yeah. So I give a lot of credit to my mom, and I give a lot of credit to my family, and I give a lot of credit to my community, and I give a lot of credit to this lady right here. Because, you know, without having that support, that constant encouragement, without having that firm foundation in God and the church, and without being grounded, I think things could have turned out differently.
Right.
You know, out of desperation, you can make some bad decisions. And for me, I was desperate for a change, but I had faith. And so faith kept me grounded. And every time I look back and I think back to where I was and everything that I went through, I know that it wasn't my doing. Like if it was just up to me, things could have probably turned out differently. But, you know, it's because people prayed for me, people looked out for me, people believed in me, people encouraged me. And I had that support to fall back on, that I feel like I was able to actually make it through and come out on the other side okay.
That's so powerful, because I realized that Zambian people per se, they live in communities and they work together as one. That I can attest to, because I'm also originally from Zambia. Growing up, our neighbors were our aunts, our uncles, our sisters, just because we were neighbors. And from what you're telling me, it's like the community here has continued working together. And the other thing you've mentioned is about the church and the faith itself. How can you advise someone who is not connected to any like community or the church?
I'd say, you know, seek out someone. Like I said, like faith and my church family really is what kept us going. Not just me, but my whole family. I don't know how we would have made it through if it wasn't for us having that faith and praying. I mean, I used to pray every day. I would pray every day, wake up, it's the same result. But I would keep praying and I would keep praying. And, you know, granted it took almost 10 years, but I'm glad that I waited.
Oh,
you know,
my goodness.
I'm glad that I
10 years.
Faithful, yeah.
10 years waiting. Yeah. Sometimes when we read the scriptures, you know, we read about Jacob, for instance, working to get his bride for 7 years, and then he waited again 7 more years because he was tricked the first time. Then you would think, who can wait 14 years? It seems so far-fetched. And then when we also read the scriptures about this woman who had the issue of blood for all these years, like 12 years. So now when Mpande is telling us about waiting for 10 years, then you see that these things really do happen, and miracles really do happen to those who wait on them.
Yeah.
That's exciting to hear. And you might be there and are waiting on something. Just be patient. Keep praying, keep the faith, and make sure that you have yourself a community that supports you and encourages you so that you stay focused. What are you doing in Mpande Mwape? What have you been up to now?
So other than working, you know, I've just been here. I live in Pittsburgh still with my family. And then working as a nurse, I started in 2014. And then in 2018, I entered into leadership. So that's where I am right now, a nurse manager, and really enjoying my career.
So after waiting all this, wow, now you are a nursing manager. You see, good things happen to those that wait.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes when people hear that someone has been waiting, they feel like it's just a season of just sitting and folding their hands. What would you say about that?
I would say stay busy. You know, do what you can to keep yourself and your mind stimulated. There's ways that you can also, you know, invest in yourself, grow some skills, learn things that are in an informal setting. Like I was, you know, braiding hair. I volunteered at a JAPO. And a lot of those opportunities helped me develop a lot of the skills that I use at my job now. You know, I learned customer service at the shop.
Wow.
Yeah, I do a lot with diversity and inclusion. So my first kind of exposure to that was working at a JAPO. So all those things ended up benefiting me in the end.
It's very shocking, if I could use that word, how that you can be doing things like braiding hair, working with refugees, and then it ends up rather becoming very helpful in a different kind of career or different kind of setting altogether. Somebody would wonder, how can braiding hair translate to being a nurse or a nurse practitioner? It doesn't even look like it, but it kind of reminds me of the story of Joseph when he had a dream that his brothers, his mother, his father would bow before him, and he ended up being sold as a slave. So you would wonder, how is this gonna happen? There might be somebody watching us who is maybe going through what you went through. What kind of advice can you give them?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, keep having faith. keep yourself busy, you know, don't lose hope.
Right.
If there's something that you want to do, you know, hold on to that desire. Continue to work towards it. Whatever it is that you can do to work towards it, continue to do it. The worst thing that anybody can ever do for themselves is give up. You know, you're your number one cheerleader, and you're the one person that can make it happen. So, you know, pray, have faith, have a vision, you know, and just keep working on it.
That's really powerful. Be your number one cheerleader. Whatever it is that God has put in your heart, fight for it. Don't sit and fold your hands. Don't say, I'm waiting and doing nothing. She said, stimulate your mind. Do something with your life. While you're waiting, pray. While you're waiting, learn a new skill. That's what she's telling us today. How about your spiritual life? Where do you stand right now?
God is the author of all these stories that I'm telling now. I have, over the years, really grown as a Christian and learned how, you know, to walk my own path in Christ. And, you know, through everything that I've been through, I pray. I try, you know, my very best to make things happen. God has given me the ability, the skill, the will. But there are just times when I know that I have to just let go and let God. And when I do, everything just falls into place.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. When you let go and let God be, things fall in place. While you're waiting and working, things fall in place. That's amazing. What last word can you give to our viewers today? Because you are the owner of this movie we are watching right now, right? Yeah. When you watch a movie, there's always a starling. I think that's the word I was looking for. Starling Mpande. Yes. So this is your life. What kind of advice can you give a younger Mpande? What kind of advice can you give someone who is watching and saying, I just moved to a new country. I don't even know how the legalization is going to be like. Or I'm just starting out in life. What kind of advice can you give?
I'd say, you know, first of all, be true to yourself. And again, you know, prayer has helped me a lot. So be strong in your faith. And also, you know, have a plan. I say let go and let God, but that doesn't mean, like you said, that you just sit there and wait for God to do his work. No, you know, ask him for, you know, guidance. And he will guide you. Yes, you know, you're letting go and saying, God, take the wheel. You know, Jesus, take the wheel. God, guide me. And you'll end up, you know, in a place where he wants you to be. I believe that God has a plan for all of us. And it's, you know, the plan is for us to all find joy and happiness and peace and to do whatever it is that we're purposed to do. And so, you know, find your purpose, believe in your purpose, believe in yourself. And, you know, hang on and pray. I think that's the best advice I could give to anybody.
That is a perfect kind of advice right now. I believe that all of us were created for a purpose, and you too are important to God. And there's a purpose in you for you to fulfill if you stay focused. Mpande has elaborated it so well. I don't need to go back to it. I hope you've been blessed by this interview, and I pray that your life becomes better. Just move on because you have heard these encouraging words and become your very best self. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you are not subscribed yet, we'd ask you to subscribe by hitting the red button, and don't forget to leave us thumbs up. Yes! It's